Welcome everyone to the UC Merced 2020 Leadership Conference. My name is Jess Evita and I'm the Associate Director for the Margo F. Souza Student Leadership Center here on campus. And I'm excited to introduce you and invite you to the first night of the annual conference. Now, our theme is Rise to the Challenge, and we wanted to include this theme because this year has been particularly difficult, and we wanted to acknowledge the amazing leadership that's happening on campus. But we also wanted to acknowledge that rising to the challenge might also simply mean checking in on your peers and taking care of yourself. And then at the same time, thinking about how you can contribute to the community now when we need leadership the most. Now, this year's conference includes 3 opening presentations by our distinguished alumni. We have 4 alumni presentations today, presenters today, and I'm really excited to introduce you to our first alumni presenter of the entire conference, Natalie Gonzalez. Now, Natalie Gonzalez is an alumna of the class of 2015. Natalie is a strong advocate for health equity and youth development across Ventura and Los Angeles counties. She attended UC Merced and graduated with a BA in Sociology and a minor in political science in 2015. Her passion for advocacy and community grew as she participated as a peer health educator for students at UC Merced. Natalie's involvement in the nonprofit sector and in the fields of adolescent health and public policy has become her main passion. She is currently pursuing law school with a joint degree in public and community health. Today, Natalie works for the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Conejo Valley as a director of engagement. She collaborates with corporate partners to fund vital programs and services for youth across Ventura and Los Angeles counties, from the Los Angeles Rams to General Motors. Natalie is working to create sustainable change in her community and beyond. And while at UC Merced, Natalie was involved in the peer health education program and is a proud member of Delta Gamma. Please join me in welcoming class of 2015, Natalie Gonzalez.
Thank you, Jess, so much. Hi, everyone. I am so excited to be with you all tonight and to be part of this leadership conference. So thank you so much to Jess and everyone who has put on this conference. Excited to be your guys' first speaker. I'm going to transition to the slides. So please let me know if you are able to see this with a head nod. Perfect. All right, so today I wanted to talk to you guys about empowering you all to make social change on and off of your campus and how I can provide some tools and insight from my experiences and hopefully give you something to take away after this session so that you can also make change happen in your community. So first, going into this type of work and going into social change, it's important to get grounded. So I figured as the first speaker of the conference, first speaker of the day, that just taking a couple breaths and just staying grounded and kind of getting your brain in the right mindset to just soak in all of the knowledge that you guys are going to be having over the next 3 days. So wherever you are, just kind of get comfortable and just take 2 big breaths. And we'll do one together, and then you can feel free to do one on your own. So if you'd like to even place a hand on your belly and then a hand on your heart and just kind of breathe, you can do that. And we'll inhale and then exhale. And feel free to do another one on your own. And I just kind of wanted to discuss a little bit more about my story. As Jess mentioned, I was in health education in the HEROES program at UC Merced and really learned a lot of valuable leadership skills in public speaking, was able to connect with students and provide resources around health education, which kind of led me into my role with Boys and Girls Club as really just being an advocate for students and youth and really learning how to make a difference in the community and with resources that we have with programs and services. And in working with programs with Target and American Eagle and General Motors and the LA Rams, what I've noticed is that it comes really down to a cycle into 3 big main things. And those 3 main things come down to idea, action, and impact. And today I wanted to talk to you about how these 3 things really make a difference into how you can provide any sort of tools and resources into these 3 buckets and where hopefully you guys can improve. So first one is idea. You have to find your why. Any sort of nonprofit work that I've been part of in terms of programs and services really comes down to finding your why. Funders, supporters, any sort of people that you're serving in an organization, it's really important to have a mission and to make sure that what you're doing has importance and why you are doing what you do. So this could be something if you are interested in creating an organization and having a why. What is your mission? What does it come down to? And I like to tell students and even youth that we serve that you're allowed to have more than one why. It means that you can have multiple passions, multiple areas of interest, and making sure that all of those things can really, help your decisions into making change in the community, whether that's volunteering or looking into different organizations in the area, or maybe it's participating in an organization on campus or clubs. What is your why and why does it motivate you, and why should that inspire others? There's a saying about don't get stuck on the escalator. So I don't know if you've seen, there's a video on YouTube, it's a TED Talk also about there's an escalator that's moving and the escalator all of a sudden just stops, and people on the escalator actually are calling for help. The funny part about the escalator is that they could just walk up if the escalator stops. So similar to that, instead of just waiting for someone and to call someone to make the action happen, you can just move up the escalator, right? You can just walk upstairs, you can just make the action yourself and just get it done. So that really comes down to also how can you make change happen? Is just taking one step, is just making one step towards change, one step towards finding something that will get you to your goal, to get you to accomplish the why of your interest, passion, hobby, anything. What is the action that is tangible for you, and what does that look like for you to take that necessary step to get off the escalator? Many times people think that we don't take actions because we're never ready. And there's actually been science and studies done about why people don't take action to make change happen. And it really comes down to 3 things. One, taking action is a muscle, which requires, just like any sort of physical muscle that you have, you work out in the gym and you gain muscle. The action, the brain, where you have to train your mind to take the action, to take change and to make something happen. So whether that's, participating in your local nonprofit or calling up a club or organization on campus and how you can get involved, that action requires training. It requires constant moving and constant taking that one step in front of the other. The second one, people never feel ready. There's always something that is put off. Maybe they are too overwhelmed with homework. Maybe there's just not the right time. Maybe there's no time in their schedule. There's always something that people feel that they're never going to feel ready. So I would just kind of advise that feeling is not something that maybe you feel that you're the only one. There's tons of studies that show people never feel ready. It's just making time to be ready. The last one is surrounding is everything. Many times people don't take action for change is because there's the surrounding around them is not enabling them to do so. Maybe the people that surround you aren't as supportive or motivating or see the reason for change or see the reason to take responsibility and to make action happen. So surrounding is everything, making sure that you have mentors, making sure that you can turn towards professors or on campus leadership or your peers to see how you can be motivated to make change. Looking at your surroundings and seeing who is around me that can help me grow and can help me make change happen on and off campus. And then finally, impact. After we have our ideas, after we take an action, what is the impact? And really, leadership is finding your voice, inspiring others to find their voice, and empowering people and executing actions that get the world better. So really, that's what it comes down to, is that one voice really can make a difference. Your actions can influence someone else's actions. A story about this that I think is really beneficial. Recently on social media, I was sharing how people can get involved with becoming a voting poll worker. And I shared that I signed up, and here is a link for others to sign up who wants to join. And because of that, I had 5 friends reach out to me and say, hey, thanks for sharing. I just signed up to be a voting poll worker in this area. Which area are you in? So the small action of one thing of you speaking up, speaking out and saying, I'm taking this action is influencing others. And that's what leadership is. That's what this is about, is the resilience to push through hard times and saying, I can be a leader and this is my voice I'm going to use. This is the platform I'm going to utilize. And if you can make a difference for one person, then you've done your job. And then lastly, finding your voice doesn't always mean using your vocals, right? This doesn't always mean vocalizing your physical voice. Finding your voice as a leader could also mean writing. Maybe your outlet is through writing. Maybe there's something that you can write to your local papers, or maybe there's a piece that you can write on a blog, some sort of writing aspect where you can utilize your voice to make change happen and to inspire others to also make change happen. Maybe finding your voice as a leader is also through volunteering or art and film. Maybe there's some aspect where you can utilize on-campus resources or off-campus resources or your alumni network to see where you can volunteer in local organizations that are making change happen, especially during this current climate. There's tons of areas and places that are seeking volunteers for food and for shelter, to help homeless and youth. There's tons of ways to get involved and to use your voice and to be that leader in your community. And then the last thing I will leave you with is one thing that nobody else has is you, your voice, your mind, your story, and your vision. So you are important, you are valuable, and we need all of our leaders to step up. We need all of our students to step up. We need everyone to get out and vote. We need people to rise to the challenge and to make sure that their voices are heard. And that really starts with you. So making sure that you know that your story and your vision and your voice is powerful. It's just, how are you going to use your voice? So I hope there's something in here that you can utilize, and maybe something that made you think differently about how and when to use your voice. So thank you.